Okay, so this is Lightroom, and up here are your different windows. So library, that's just gonna pull up all the images that you've imported into Lightroom. Develop, map, book, slideshow, print, web. I only use these two, library and develop. So once you get an image in here and you have it imported, make sure you're under the develop tab. And then here are the sliders I was gonna kind of get you familiar with. So there's, let me go over here where you can see it. Depending on what yours looks like right now, there's a basics category. So when you click basic, these are the options that drop down. There's a tone curve category, which I'm not gonna use that right now, so I'm just gonna leave it gone. HSL sliders, and these are where we'll mess with the colors and stuff. Color grading, detail, that's where some sharpening is gonna be, some luminance. Those are some of the things that I mess with. So I'm going to, typically I will come over here and do a preset, and that's just kind of giving me a base edit, but I'm going to start from scratch just so that you can see what these sliders do. I wonder if you can see like that. No, probably not. Okay, so I'm going to start with exposure. I'm going to brighten this up just a little bit. So just by pulling my bar over to the right, you can see the difference that it's making. So I'll probably go about right there, maybe a little bit brighter. I love to mess with the blacks. There's a blacks slider here. I'm totally just trying to hold this with one hand and do this, so it's gonna be shaky. But see how that adds more depth to it wherever there's black in the image? I like to mess with that. And if you'll hit spacebar, that'll zoom everything in. So I'm going to actually, I'm gonna up the shadows just a little bit. See what the difference that made right there. That's where it was. And then I'm just sliding this shadow slider over. And to me, her face is a little magenta, like a little more reddish than I want. So I'm going to slide the tint over to the green just a little bit. So sometimes if you really want to see the difference that this makes, is just really drag it all the way over and see. So see how much green that's adding. But I just want to take a little bit out to pull out that red in her face. And if I feel like it's still super red, I can come down here to the HSL sliders. So HSL just stands for the different categories: hue, saturation, luminance. And saturation is where you'll probably be the most. So watch, like if I take this red out, anything in the picture that's red, like see her lipstick, it starts disappearing. So you have to be a little bit careful. But if you feel like their skin tones are super orangey or anything like that, you can just grab this orange slider and slide to the left. See how that's working? Woo, woo. I'm just gonna pull it a little bit to the left. So far that's where I'm at. And sometimes if my background is super bright, I like to pull the highlights down a little bit. And sometimes it doesn't change much. I have a preset over here that I like to do. It's called Give Me Sky. Give me that sky. Ooh, see that? See how it brought back some more of those tones in the sky? And then I'm gonna crop this buddy. So I'm gonna hit the crop button. I'm gonna leave it at original right here. And then I can just pull this where I want. And if it's a little bit crooked, or depending on which angle I want it. If your image is crooked and you wanna straighten it, see all these lines? Like if you just find a straight line in your picture and you line it up with it, it'll make it straight. So I like that about there. And I'm gonna brighten it up a little bit more. And I'm gonna add some more contrast. Dehaze is another fun one to play with. If you pull it over here to the right, look at that, watch. It just adds quite a bit more depth and everything. If I feel like her face is still, I feel like her face is still too dark because the sunset was over here and I had her moving her hair back and forth. So her face is actually facing away from the sun, which is creating this shadow. So in a case like this, I'm gonna come up here to this masking tool and I'm gonna hit create new mask. I'm gonna click brush. And then you can use these bracket tools right here to make the brush bigger or smaller. So you just wanna make it about the size of the area you're gonna brush. Just gonna make it red. Don't forget though, that's just the mask. And from there, you come back over here and there's gonna be these options that you can do and cut, like, you should have just like a shadows one right here. And what's gonna happen is, remember I painted that mask over her face, that brush. If I pull my mouse over, it's showing me where I've painted that mask. I hope this video is gonna let me send it to 5 minutes. But now when I adjust the shadows, it's only going to adjust her face. See that there? Boom, isn't that super cool? So I'm just gonna raise the shadows up quite a bit and leave it there. And there's our photo, bruh.